Hello all and welcome to this episode of CS 101. In this episode we are going to have a look at the concept of recursion. So before getting started with the recursion, we will review the concept of function or routines. So suppose if you have a piece of program, so let us say this is your program. And there is a certain block in your program that has got 5 lines. And it has to be written again and again. So let us call it A. So this is A. Now again we are going to write that block A after some time and again A and again A. So we are writing this piece of program 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So basically the length of our program is increasing and also the logic of program is getting complex unnecessarily because we are repeating those 5 lines again and again and we are doing it unconsciously. It means that we are not actually letting the reader of the program know that these lines are repeated again and again. He will just actually go on reading that program, and whenever he is actually going to encounter this 5 line, he is going to think that it is the normal part of program. But these 5 lines are special because they are repeated over and over again. Maybe sometimes with different arguments or different set of conditions, but essentially the core of those lines or the core of the logic of those lines is the same. So we can employ a trick. We can write that thing separately, either in the same program file or in some other program file, designate it as a function and write that piece of code 5 times, or write that piece of 5 lines, and then we can write those piece of 5 lines in a single block, and then we can call that block like this, and it is known as function call, and this is the function definition, and this is the function call. So all these are function calls, and this is actually going to reduce the length of our program essentially by, let us say, this 5 multiplied by 5. It was earlier 25 lines. Now this is only 5 lines, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 lines of definition and 5 lines of call. Okay, so it becomes 10 lines. So we are essentially saving space for 15 lines. Plus it is simplifying the logic of our program. Also, if we pass it some arguments, let's say A and B, then we can use these arguments as per our convenience. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every time for these parameters or these placeholders A and B, we can pass different values. Let us say A 2, 3, A 4, 5, A 6, 7, A 4, 2, A 1, 1. So we can have this thing called in 5 different ways by varying the values of A and B. So this is all about function. So we know that it simplifies our program logic, and it actually makes our core more readable and more maintainable. So now if I want to make a change in a single line here, it is going to affect everywhere. So this way I can actually store the logic, and we can write functions. They are also known as routines or subroutines. And in case you are going to write one inside a class, then in many programming language, it is known as a class method. Now we are going to build upon this understanding of function or routine or method, and we are going to understand the concept of recursion. So suppose if you have written a function like this A, this is the definition of your function, and let us write it like this. Now within A itself, if we are going to call that function again, it is known as recursion. Okay, so it is going to just call itself. This is something known as recursion. Okay, and it is not necessary that you are calling it only once. You can call it many times. You can just call it like this, and it is also going to call itself again. So this is all happening within the definition of that function A itself. Okay, so it may be the case that you are defining this with A and B, and then you are actually calling it with something like A minus 1 comma B, and here you are calling it A B plus 1. So this sort of function call is known as recursive call. So let me write it down here. Recursive call or recursive function call. Okay, so this is how we can call a function. And so that was known as simple recursion. Okay, because here we have A. This is the definition and this is the recursive call. This is the simple recursion. Now there is something known as, okay, this simple recursion is also known as direct recursion. And there is something known as indirect recursion as well as mutual recursion. So let us define two functions. This is A and this is B. So this is the declaration for A and B. And we are calling B here. And we are calling A here. So this is known as mutual recursion. So here we are calling A from B and B from A at the same time. So this is known as mutual recursion. And there is something known as indirect recursion. So let us see an example of indirect recursion. So we have here four different functions and they are defined as A, B, C and D. A, B, C and D. And here I'm going to write B. And here I'm going to call C. And here I'm going to call D. And finally within D we are going to call A. So this is something known as indirect recursion or chain recursion. So chain recursion, or we can even have variations of this. We can actually call here A also, and here also we can call B. So it is going to be a very complex logic. Okay, so this is what something we call as indirect recursion or chain recursion. Now let us see a few interesting things about recursion. So in every type of recursion function, so suppose this is a function, there is something known as base condition. Base condition. So this is the termination criteria for your recursion. Otherwise, that recursion is going to enter into some sort of infinite loop and you won't be able to control it. You will have to manually kill that process in Unix and Windows. You will actually have to find the process ID and then you have to kill the program that is running that infinite recursion logic. So it is necessary to have base condition for your recursion. So that base condition serves as a termination condition. And then we have something known as recursive call. This recursive call is where we are calling that same function again, or we are calling other function which calls the same function. Okay. So this is how we can work with recursion. So in the next example, we are going to see a simple example of recursion.